What's up? We are back. Part 2 of the entire Genie CD collection. If you haven't seen part 1, make sure to go check that out. In that video, I cover CDs where the artist's last name is either a number all the way through B. This video, part 2, is going to cover CDs from C all the way through letter E. Again, this is by last name, so if you're looking for a specific artist, make sure to look for their last name letter, not their first name letter. I'm going to be going through each CD here, giving a little bit of info on where I found it or why I have this CD, and then I'm going to try and give a favorite song. A lot of these CDs I've got very recently, and I might not be super familiar with each track, or maybe I've just listened to them a few times just all the way through, and I don't know the tracks by name yet, but that doesn't mean that I like the CDs less. I'm just saying that those ones I'm not as familiar with. The first CD of letter C is Camp By and By. Now this is a pretty new one. I got this very recently. As you can see, I still have the tag on here. 99-cent purchase, pretty good. I know a couple of my friends like this band in high school. I don't really have a favorite track because I haven't listened to it that much, but I've heard it once and it was good. Next up, we have Cat Power Moon Picks. I've heard good things about this CD and I had someone send me one of the songs from it and I like it a lot. It's cool, it's experimental. My favorite song on here is probably Metal Heart. Next up, we have Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Skeleton Tree. This is one that my dad bought a while ago, just because he had heard of it and I nabbed it because I had heard of it as well. I have yet to play it all the way through. I've heard it's very sad though, so I'm a bit scared. I don't have a favorite track yet. Shout out to the music critic Spectrum Pulse though for giving it a 10 out of 10. That's one of the reasons I know about it. And I will listen to it eventually. I just need to prepare myself. Next up we have the Chemical Brothers, Surrender. This is another random CD that I found at a thrift shop. Listened to it once and it was cool, but I have not gone back and listened to it again. I feel like it's probably kind of avalanche-ish, and I do like the Avalanches quite a bit, so this will probably be good. I just need to give it another chance, to be honest. Next up, we have a classic, Because of the Internet by Childish Gambino. Childish Gambino is one of the most insane artists of this past generation. I swear he's done everything. This album is crazy, definitely was a glow up from Camp. My favorite song on here is probably The Worst Guy. It's definitely one of the best rap songs from the 2010s, in my opinion. Following up from that one, we have Childish Gambino, Awaken, My Love. This is one of the best albums of the 2010s in my opinion. Nothing more really has to be said. Insane pivot from what he's been doing in the past. Beautiful songs, very fun to listen to. Redbone is an absolute classic song. Me and Your Mama, all these songs are insane. This is just an album to listen to all the way through. There's no misses on this album. Next up we have Immunity by Claro. This was a freshman year of college album for me. This is when I learned about this album. Whether she continues to make bedroom pop or not, Claro has definitely left her mark in the genre. Favorite song on here, probably Bags. It's just a perfect song. Alewife really good as well. We also have Claro's newest album, Sling. This one is definitely not bedroom pop, but it's more like bedroom, like Baroque. I don't even know how to describe it. Bit show-tuney. Shout out Jack Antonoff. This is the best out of all those random ones that he put out a couple years ago. Favorite song on here is probably Zinnias or Reaper maybe? I don't know, a lot of good tracks. Another album to listen to all the way through. Next up, we have London Calling by The Clash. This is another one that I nabbed from my dad, so shout out to him, sorry about that. I wanted this CD in its old form. I didn't want to buy this like new, because I felt like that's weird. This is an old album, and this is a very old copy of it. It's honestly pretty cool looking. It's got this sticker up on the corner right there. But yeah, favorite song on here is maybe just the title track, London Calling. I gotta listen to it again, it is good though. Next up, we have Lord Willin by Clips. This is a classic old Pharrell produced 2000s album. Definitely fun. I haven't listened to it a ton, but I'm glad I have it. It's a fun album to have. I don't know if I have a favorite track from this. Caught Damn maybe. Next up we have such a random one. This is Radio Sit-In by Julian Cope. My friend Bay found this just on a street one day, I believe, or at like a flea market or something. It's very weird. I think it's one whole track and it's literally just like a radio station emulator. So I don't really have a favorite track because it's all one track. Next up we have This Year's Model by Elvis Costello. I grew up listening to some Elvis Costello. This doesn't have a ton of the hits that I used to listen to, but Pump It Up and Radio are definitely two of the ones I know on here. I have not listened to this all the way through yet though. One of my friends gave this to me, so shout out them. Favorite track is probably Pump It Up. Next we have a CD from a band from Philadelphia, a country western. The CD is called Bird Feeder. I saw this band last year in 2021 at a house show and I bought this CD. It's a very cool CD. I hope these guys do well and have a nice career. I do think they have a cool sound. Favorite song on here is definitely You Only Sold Me. Next we have Deer Hunter Hunter. This album is called Fading Frontier. This video was also found along with that other radio sit-in thing by my friend Bay. As we continue to go through all these CDs, you'll see there's a few more that came from that same haul. I don't have a favorite song on here yet because I haven't listened to it that much. Next we have NFR Norman fucking Rockwell by Lana Del Rey. This is definitely my favorite Lana album. I can't claim myself as a big Lana fan, but this one is sick. Shout out Jack Antonoff as well. My favorite song on here is probably Venice Bitch. Venice Bitch is probably my favorite Lana Del Rey song of all time. Okay, next up is an absolute classic of the 2010s. This Old Dog by Mac DeMarco. In my opinion, this is Mac DeMarco's best album. I know ones like Salad Days really cemented him in the indie genre, but this is definitely my favorite. It almost seems more like grown up and matured from that other sound, but still very sick and creative. Favorite song on here is probably Still Beating or last one, Watching Him Fade Away. Following that, we have another Mac DeMarco. Here Comes the Cowboy. Shout out to my friend Sam Updike. He was big on this album before I was, but I found it used on CD and I asked my parents for it for Christmas and they came through and got me it. Favorite song on here is probably Preoccupied or maybe K. Nobody is also very good too, now that I'm looking at the track list. Next up we have Drake. If you're reading this, it's too late. I used to have this clean, but I got rid of it and now I have it explicit like it's supposed to be. These songs would come on so much when I was listening to iTunes radio back in 8th grade. Favorite song on here is definitely No Tellin'. That is definitely one of Drake's best songs in my opinion. And next up we have Drake's best album, in my opinion, Views. This was definitely one of the most hyped up albums back in 2016 and I know a lot of people didn't love it at first. My favorite song on here is probably You With Me. It's very hard to decide for that one. Next up we have Dr. Dog, We All Belong. This is another CD I have not listened to that much, but Dr. Dog definitely has a cool reputation. I think that they worked with a producer that I've actually talked to one time in Philadelphia. I don't have a favorite song on here though because I haven't listened to it enough and I don't really know the tracks from each other yet. Next up we have Dum Dum Girls, Only in Dreams. I bought this because it had the Sub Pop label on it. It's rock music but it's not too hard and it's definitely fun and somewhat light to listen to. I know there's a hit somewhere on this album but I don't really remember which one and I don't really know which one's my favorite. Next up we have Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits. Someone got this for me my freshman year of college and I haven't listened to it because it is so damn scratched up. Basically to just throw this away because it just cannot be played and has no worth. No favorite track. Next up we have Eden, No Future. I actually have 2 copies of this because my friend Bay bought us tickets to go see Eden and then COVID hit and we didn't get to go. He bought them with some sort of deal that got us both a CD, which is kind of sick. So I have 2 copies of this now. They're both out of the wrapping, but one of them has not been listened to. I forget which one it is. It's probably the one that looks less beat. Favorite song on here is definitely Love, Death, and Distraction. Next up we have Elephants. I don't know where this one came from. I think I got it for like a 99-cent section and it's pretty trash to be honest. I think it's scratched up too. No favorite track. We got 2 left and this one is an absolute classic. Eminem, Curtain Call. I got this from Walmart when I was probably like 10 or 11. That being said, it is clean. I think When I'm Gone and Stand Live both skip. But yeah, when I was a kid, I absolutely loved this. Eminem was one of the goats to me. He isn't anymore, but this album was definitely classic after classic. My favorite song on here is probably Stan or like The Real Slim Shady. And last but definitely not least for this collection video, we have Everything But the Girl, Walking Wounded. Shout out to my friend Ian for putting me onto this album. It's like electronic-ish, kind of dancey, but also kind of singer-songwriter-y. I definitely like it. It's a good combo. I don't actually have a favorite song for this yet because I just got it and I haven't paid attention to the tracks when I was listening yet. But yeah, very sick album and sick artwork. Like what the hell, this looks so cool. And that is it for collection video number 2. I'm enjoying making these and I have maybe 3 more to go, maybe 4 more to go. And yeah, check out the other videos on the channel. I will see you later. Goodbye.